Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to All Praise Picks. Today we're looking at the Chimney Challenge series on December 12th, 2024. Just noticed that today is 12/12/2024. That's pretty cool. But in this Chimney Challenge, it's essentially like the ladder challenge where uh, I turn a small sum of money into a large sum of money gradually each day. There is some trial and error with this, and with this being my first time, unfortunately, we're going back to day one because our day two parlay, which was on the Warriors and Rockets game, did not hit. But in this video, I'll break down what the Chimmy Challenge is, how it all works, why our day two parlay did not hit, and give you my parlay for our new day one play. So, as I mentioned before, this is essentially like the ladder challenge where I start with $10 and then gradually over 10 days, using only bets of from like plus 100 to plus 145, turn that $10 into 20, into 40, into 80, and then by day nine it would be at 5,120, and then by day 10 it would be $10,240, 1 in 10 days. Uh, this is essentially like the ladder challenge, and you can choose any sum of money that you would want. All you have to do is just do times two each day, and then set your time frame for however long you'd want this series to go. But in this video series, for the holidays, I'm doing 10 days, and hopefully by Christmas I can get to 10 days and be able to buy a lot of presents and gifts for my friends and family. But in order to buy presents and gifts, you need to win money, and this is the parlay that we had in yesterday's Rockets versus Warriors game. It was an NBA Cup game. It was a pretty good game overall, very highly competitive. But two of the four plays that we had in this parlay did not hit. Starting off with Steph Curry to have 20 points. So he finished the game with 19 points, and he attempted one free throw and he missed that free throw. So if he made that free throw, he would have had over 20 points. Um, I actually don't mind this because I would much rather have a guy like Steph Curry fall just 1 point shy than like Grady Dick, like I had in a previous video, fall one 3 pointer shy of making the mark. Steph Curry, he's a phenomenal shooter. Was returning from injury, and he didn't have his best game. He did have a lot of open looks from 3 pointer range that he did miss, so he could have gotten 20 points in a myriad of different ways. But for him to miss a free throw is just such an abnormality that if I were to run this game back again, I probably would have still taken him to have 20 points. Just knowing that Steph Curry would have probably improved upon it and probably would have made that free throw like 99 out of 100 times. I also had Draymond Green to record 5 assists. So he finished with 4 assists, and probably should have paid more attention to the Warriors injury report. I knew that Steph Curry was returning from injury, but I didn't really know that Andrew Wiggins was questionable, and he actually did not end up playing in this game, which I did think changed the Warriors' overall offensive game plan, especially when having Draymond Green on the court with Steph Curry. Draymond Green plays much better on the court with Curry and Wiggins as they have a lot of continuity together, and Green was still able to get 4 assists in this game, but he did have decreased playing time. He also did have 4 fouls in this one, and the decreased playing time came from him getting too many fouls, but also Steve Kerr choosing to have a different lineup that was more of a smaller, more athletic lineup against the Rockets team. Also, with GP2 starting in Wiggins' place, I think that Green's assist potential decreases dramatically. Gary Payton doesn't really take a lot of shots. He's really there for defense, and he was a great defender on Jalen Green. But I think, especially going forward with Warriors games, if I know that Wiggins or Curry is not playing and Gary Payton is the one in their place, I probably will stay away from Draymond Green assist numbers unless they're against a very um, bad team that allows a lot of assists to the center slash power forward position. But fell 1 point shy and 1 assist shy of winning the parlay. I'm glad that Amen Thompson was able to get his rebounds and Steph Curry was able to land on three pointers. But overall, I just think that this parlay, the research was very sound, and it happens. You could fall 1 point, 1 assist, 1 rebound, one whatever shy of winning the parlay. It's just about being able to bounce back. So I included this clip because I was watching the highlights as well as the condensed game film of the whole game, and honestly, I think Flight React said it best in this game. He completely flamed Steve Kerr for their shot choice, especially out of a timeout with only 2 seconds left. Um, so in this still image, you can ignore Flight's face; he's just crashing out right now. But um, so what happened was, Podziemski was the one inbounding the ball. Right off the bat, if I was Steve Kerr, I probably would have had Draymond Green inbounding the ball because he is a pretty good passer, and unless he's there to set a screen, which he did not in this play, he should be the one passing the ball to find the best open shooter. And I think that he would have made a good decision overall, which could probably have gotten them the assist, especially if they made um, whether it was a layup or a 3 pointer. Um, but Podziemski was the one that threw in the ball. He gave it to Curry, and then Curry gave it right back to him, and Podziemski took this corner 3 point shot. Um, Honestly, when I saw it happen in the condensed game, I was very shocked to see that it was not Steph Curry, one of the greatest 3 point shooters ever, shooting the 3 pointer to win the game. Also, with the Warriors only down by 1 point, they didn't even need to have a 3 pointer. Like they could have had a layup, a lob, so many different other options than a 3 pointer, especially from Brendan Podziemski. But I guess that's probably why Michael Jordan punched Steve Kerr in the face in practice one day, just because of decisions like that, you know. But Podziemski ends up, I think he ends up airballing this one. Like it was a terrible shot. You guys can watch the highlights if you want to see how bad of a shot it was. And the Warriors ended up losing this game. There's a lot of conversation about the loose ball foul that happened that allowed Houston to go up by 1 point off of two free throws, and whether the game would have played out differently. Um, it remains to be seen. But if you make decisions like this at the end of games, you can't really be upset at the outcome, especially if it's a poor decision. So hopefully these two parlays are good decisions. But I have these parlays focused on Jalen Brown and Malik Monk. So I also thought of the idea of just splitting the unit size that I put on each of these parlays instead of having one unit to win uh, the entire day's worth of whatever the winnings would be. If I have two parlays that I feel pretty good about, then as long as one of them hits, I'll break even, and if the other one does hit, then we can progress along the chimney. But on the parlay on the left side, at plus 102, I have Jalen Brown to have over 31 and a half combined points and assists in this game versus the Detroit Piston. So Tatum is not playing in this game, and in his last game versus Detroit without Tatum, he had 17 potential assists and 9 total assists. And I think Jalen Brown, he should be able to score versus the Pistons as well. He's had over 20 points in his last 5 games, and if those potential assists are there as well, without Tatum, I think that he can generate a lot of assists in this game. Detroit allows the eighth most threes to the small forward position as well in the last 15 games, and Jalen Brown has been shooting much better from the field as well as from the 3 point line. From the field, he's shooting 44.5% this season, and from the three, he's shooting 34%. And he wasn't really known as a 3 point shooter, but now he is, I guess, better than average. And I think that he'll probably have more field goal attempts in this game, which will generate more points. And I think he'll just have the ball in his hands more often to generate potential assists, which will hopefully lead to assists from makes off of passes to Porzingis and Al Horford and Derek White and Drew Holiday. Also, in his last 5 games versus Detroit, these are his total points and assists. So he had 37 in his most recent game, 29, 33 with 0 assists in that one, 34 and 34. So he's gone over the 31 and a half line in all but one where he had 29, and that was in a game that Tatum also played in. So I just think that his usage will increase in this game, and he should be likely to go over 32 total points and assists. I also considered his rebounds, but I think his rebounding might be down in this game because Al Horford and Kristaps Porzingis are starting together, which will probably limit Jalen Brown's presence around the rim because those are the two taller players for the Celtics, and I just prefer his points and assists in this game. I also took Malik Monk to have 3 assists versus the Pelicans. So the Kings are playing the Pelicans in New Orleans, and Malik Monk has had over 3 assists in his last 5 games versus the Pelicans, and over 5 in his last 4 games. The Pelicans give up the fourth most assists to the shooting guard position over the last 15 games, and Malik Monk has been playing very well of lately, especially since he's been added to the starting lineup. So I do think that he has a good chance of getting 3 assists in this game, especially if he has more than like 25 minutes of playing time. So at plus 102, if you invest one unit on this parlay, I'm only putting $5, so that it's half of the $10 total we're doing for day one. You have essentially 100% return on your investment. And as always, so just having like bankroll consciousness and an understanding of your finances when deciding to place a bet. But now looking at the parlay on the right side, it's higher odds at plus 133, but it's pretty much the same research. So I have Jalen Brown to have over 3 assists. Instead of taking his points plus assists, I just took him to have over 3. Um, he's been playing pretty well lately, and I think that he has a good chance of getting uh, over 3 assists, especially versus Detroit, um, who ranks kind of middle of the pack in terms of number of assists allowed uh, to Jalen Brown's position, but also Jalen Brown has gone over 3 assists in his last 10 games. and he kind of lands around 3 to 4 assists sometimes. But I think without Tatum, he has a good chance of getting 3 assists in this game pretty easily. I also took Malik Monk to have under 21.5 points and assists, so it might be counterintuitive. I do want him to get assists in this game, but I just don't think that he has a good scoring matchup in this one, which will probably lead to him having more assists and passing the ball more often. So the Pelicans, even though they're pretty high in terms of number of assists given up to the shooting guard position, they're pretty good at defending the shooting guard when it comes to number of points allowed. They give up the third fewest points allowed in the last 15 games, and also give up the second fewest made threes to the shooting guard position in the last 15 games. And those are pretty much the only areas where Malik Monk scores the ball. He takes a lot of 3 pointers, and when he passes the ball, he pretty much hangs around the 3 point line waiting to get the ball back to shoot a corner three or from the top of the key. So I do think that if the Pelicans defense is as true as the statistics show that they are, he should not be able to have a good game offensively when it comes to scoring the ball. And I think that this is kind of a point of regression that he could have in terms of the number of points that he has. But I do think that he should still be able to get over 3 assists, and he could go well under 21.5 points plus assists while still getting 3 to 5 assists in this game. At plus 133, if you invest 1 unit on this parlay, you have a 133% return on your investment. As I mentioned, I'm splitting the $10 in half so that I have 2 parlays that I feel pretty comfortable about. And if this one wins, it's a payout of $11.69. But if both parlays win, it would be a payout of $21.83, which I would use $20 of that tomorrow for the parlays that I have for the next challenge video. But I appreciate you guys for watching. Just like having this video series for a little bit of fun during the holidays. But even though we're having fun, it's always good to make money as well. So I do hope that the parlays hit, and I do hope you guys can share this video with all your loved ones and everybody in your life that does sports betting, and hopefully you can make some money during the holidays. But until next time, peace.